Hi everyone, Short and Long here, and today we're going to talk about, a new oversight that Google came up with. And this is mostly for, folks that haven't been logged into their Google reckonings longer than 2 years, even longer than that. Nothing that I got to really truly worry about. Shit. Well, would I have anything to worry about? No, because we all know you log into all your Google reckonings and you have been doing that for years, even before we came up with this new oversight. So let me understand this. If there was a Google reckoning which hasn't been logged into more than 2 years or even longer than that before you came up with this upside, what would you do? Well, we would send them emails to let folks know that if they don't log into their Google reckonings to either do anything with any of their Google tools and settings, that by the 12th month we would have to shut those Google reckonings down, to shield folks from having their things hacked. All it takes is having a reckoning that's not been logged into in years for someone to get into it. Well, so that would mean that if you saw a Gmail or AdSense, we'll say, or a showing thought, or AdWords, or a showing words, or a Docs, or Google Docs or Google Drive, we'll say, or any Google tool that hasn't been worked in more than 2 years, you would then shut it down at the 12th month. Yes, if it was still hadn't been logged into by that time, we would do that. But for anyone who is still working any of their Google tools and settings, and boy, we got a lot of them. Some of them that a lot of folks like to work more than others. If we saw that someone was still logging into their Google reckonings and doing whatever they were doing with them, we would leave those alone. Yeah. So, anyway, what made you want to choose this, make this oversight? Well, you know how websites are always getting hacked and stuff. And then we know that, a lot of our tools and settings are free. Some of them are not. Some of them handle GAL, like, Google Checkout, Google Logout, for buying things. Or the Google AdSense, or showing thought. Or AdWords, or showing words, which those handle GAL, So any of those things. Well, mostly all the other tools and settings that we just talked about, like the Docs and the Drive, and and all the other ones, and Search or Seek, and YouTube or UA, all those other sundriest ones that are free, but still, all it takes is someone hacking into one of those ones that just happens to, have any one of those things. Yeah. Well, it seems that a lot of folks are now, going to be worried about that. Well, I wouldn't be worried about that because I'm always logging into all my Google tools and settings, at least the ones I work with. You see, I don't really work with Drive or Docs, so that wasn't a big deal for me. And I always worked YouTube, and I always had Gmail, and I always went into that every once in a while. So it wasn't like that I never logged into any of those things. Yeah, from what we know from our cookies, you log into those things, yes. Yeah, you don't work Docs, short for documents or sheets. You don't work Drive. But you do work Gmail and YouTube and some other things. So yeah, as long as you were always logging into those things and we saw that folks those were being worked, then we would leave those alone. Why would it have to be something that had been logged into in 5 years? You know, there are probably some Google reckonings that probably haven't been logged into longer than 2 years. Yeah, that's right. Before we came up with the oversight, there probably were a lot of, Google reckonings that haven't been logged into in years, from whatever ground's sake or why. So now, this new oversight, as we give everybody, it's up until about the 5th, the 12th month. And if any of those Google reckonings haven't still been logged into or anything, by that time, then we would have to shut them down. And once one's Google reckoning is shut down, one's Gmail gets shut down, one's YouTube gets shut down, Docs and Drive will get shut down too. And that includes AdSense or AdWords, or the showing font and showing words and many other Google tools and settings which are free and which are not free would get shut down too. And yeah. Well, at least I don't gotta worry about that, because I'm always on Google, either through Gmail or through YouTube or whatever. So yeah, I don't really work AdSense or showing sense, showing thought, or AdWords or showing, words. I don't worry to check out or to buy out. I don't really buy anything on there anyway. And I don't really work Drive or Documents or Sheets. So I don't really do that. Well, at least you work, as long as we know that you've been logging into some of your Google things, as long as you're doing something with it every day, then we're going to leave it alone. So yeah, that new oversight that they came up with is on now. So for anyone who has not logged into their Google reckoning and done anything with any of their Google tools or settings in more than 2 years or even longer, because we all know there's probably been Google reckonings that have been worked longer before this oversight came into being, those will no longer be around by the 12th month. So yeah, so someone wondering if they're going to be in a bind, well, only unless you haven't logged into Google and you haven't done anything with any Google tools or settings in years, then your reckoning would be up for being shut down by the 12th. But for anyone who's still doing anything on Google every day, whatever that need be, you shouldn't have to worry about it. I, Jordan Long, and I hope you like this film. Goodbye.